Hello children, welcome to AIMS India's online classes. This is biology session. You are watching Diversity in Animal Kingdom part 4. So far we have completed the subphylum Vertebrata, in that Amphibia, Reptilia and Aves we have completed. So today we are going to discuss more about the Mammalia. Okay, class Mammalia. Are you ready children? Let us proceed. Class Mammals. The general characteristic feature: mammals are warm-blooded animals. The body is covered by hairs. The important characteristic features of mammals: body is covered by hairs. The skin contains two types of glands. The mammalian skin contains two types of glands. They are sweat glands and sebaceous glands. The sweat glands are useful in excretion. The sebaceous glands produce sebum, some oil like substance. This will keep the skin soft and smooth. Okay, the structure of mammalian skin, if you see, it is divided into epidermis and dermis. Dermis is the internal innermost layer, outer epidermis, and the subcutaneous layer of fat is present. Inner dermis consisting of two types of glands, sweat gland and sebaceous gland. See, the sebaceous gland is helpful in nourishing the hair follicles. Okay, the sweat pores. This sweat glands acts as excretory in function, and the sebaceous glands help in the production of sebum. Okay. Next, in mammals, mammary glands are present. Okay, these are the characteristic feature. The main characteristic feature of mammals is they possess mammary glands and give birth to young ones. In mammary glands, in mammals, the mammary glands are present. They are functional in female. They are modified sebaceous glands. The sebaceous glands which we have seen previously, they are modified into mammary glands in females. But in prototherians, prototheria means egg laying mammals. They are egg laying mammals. Okay, in the classification, these Mammalia class is divided into subclasses: prototheria and theria. Theria is again divided into infra classes. They are metatheria and eutheria, that you will study in higher classes. So now in mammals, these prototherians, they are the mammary glands are modified sweat glands, but remaining mammals, these mammary glands are modified sebaceous glands. Okay, the external ear pinna, there are two pinnae are present. The middle ear contains three ear ossicles. The middle ear contains three ear ossicles. They are malleus, incus and stapes. The internal ear contains a highly coiled hearing organ. It is called as organ of Corti, or it is also called cochlea. Okay, the internal ear contains a highly coiled hearing organ called organ of Corti or cochlea. Okay, here this is the ear, external ear pinna is present. This is also one of the main characteristic feature: hairs, mammary glands and the external ear pinna. Okay, it is very important characteristic, external characteristic feature of mammals. Okay, Next, the external nostrils open into the internal nostrils. They open into pharynx. External nostrils, they open into internal nostrils. They open into the pharynx. Next important feature, the characteristic feature, dentition in mammals. The teeth are heterodont in mammals. The teeth are heterodont. There are 4 types of dissimilar teeth are present. That's why they are called heterodont. They are not similar in structure, similar in function. There are 4 different types of teeth are present. They are different in structure and different in function. What are the 4 types of teeth present in the mammals? Incisors, canines, premolars and molars. Okay. What are the 4 types of teeth? Incisors, canines, premolars and molars. The teeth are 4 types. They are incisors, canines, premolars, molars. The teeth are diphyodont. Heterodont means different shape. Diphyodont means 2 sets of teeth are developed. The first set of teeth, they are called milky teeth. There are 20. Those milky teeth will be replaced by permanent teeth. That's why 2 times the teeth appear. So the second time teeth which developed, they are permanent teeth. So that's why the teeth are which type? Diphyodont. The next, the mammalian teeth is also called thecodont. Thecodont type of teeth means the teeth are present in the sockets of jaw bones. That's why they are called thecodont. Next, general character. The body cavity is divisible into 2 parts. It is because of presence of a muscular diaphragm. So this is the muscular diaphragm. Because of presence of this muscular diaphragm, the body is divisible into 2 parts. Okay, the upper thoracic region and lower abdominal cavity. There are 2 cavities. Thoracic cavity, from here to here it is thoracic cavity, from here to down it is abdominal cavity. Okay. Next, heart shows 4 chambers, and the blood contains non-nucleated RBC. Okay, heart is 4 chambered, closed type of circulatory system, and the blood contains enucleated RBC, means without nucleus RBC. Next, the brain is well developed, and in brain there are 4 optic lobes are present. Cerebrum is well developed. The most unique character of the mammalian brain is presence of corpus callosum. Okay, here you can see the presence of corpus callosum is the most unique character of a mammalian brain. It connects, what is the function of this corpus callosum? Corpus callosum connects the 2 cerebral hemispheres internally. There are 2 cerebral hemispheres are there, right and left cerebral hemispheres are connected to each other by corpus callosum. The members of order Monotremata of subclass Prototheria. Subclass Prototheria is again having the order Monotremata. They are oviparous, egg-laying mammals. They are called egg-laying mammals. Example, Echidna, Tachyglossus. The technical zoological name is Tachyglossus. Common name is Echidna. Another one, Ornithorhynchus. Ornithorhynchus. Ornithorhynchus, common name is duck-billed platypus. Duck-billed platypus. These 2 are the representatives of the order Monotremata, which include egg-laying mammals. Remaining all viviparous. Another marsupium or marsupial pouch is the main characteristics of another group of mammals called metatherians. Okay, the theria is superclass is divided into subclass is divided into infraclasses, that is metatheria and eutheria. The metatheria includes the marsupials, or metatheria is also called marsupials. These are the mammals with pouch. Kangaroo example, and macropus, that is kangaroo only, macropus included in this. Next, see here the kangaroo. The classification of animals in order for us understand how all living organisms are related. These animals are arranged into different groups. So before going to this, once again, mammalian characteristic features: the presence of mammary gland, and they give birth to young ones and feed the young ones with their milk. And these mammals may be adapted to fly, for example bat, or live in water, example aquatic mammals, example whale. And terrestrial means mammals are most dominant animals. They occupy different habitats. Terrestrial, you can include horse, camel, including man. And they are homeothermal. Homeothermal means their body temperature is constant. The skin covered with hairs, sweat glands and sebaceous glands, and the body is divisible into head, neck, trunk and tail. Okay, so this mammalian subclass is divided into, the mammalian class is divided into subclasses: Prototheria, which include egg-laying mammals, Ornithorhynchus and Echidna. Then Theria means the mammals that produce living young ones. It again divided into infraclasses to Metatheria and Eutheria. Metatheria include pouched mammals, example macropus. And eutheria means the animals which nourish the developing fetus through placenta. They are also called placentales. They are marsupials, metatheria; placentales, eutheria. Example cat, dog, man and camel, etc. So now classification of animals. This classification is in order for us to understand how all living organisms are related. All living organisms are related. They are arranged into different groups. The more features that a group of animals share, the more specific the group. Okay, in the hierarchy also, that is a kingdom, phylum, order, class. Okay, class, order, genus, species, like that. When you come down, the number of similarities will increase. Okay, the small the taxa, the more similarities are there. The species are very close similarities they show. Genus, a genus includes several species. Okay, and a family includes several genus. Okay, and a order includes several families. Okay, and a class includes several orders, and a phylum includes several classes, and a kingdom includes several phylum. Okay, kingdom means all animals come under the animal kingdom, but specifically protozoa, it is the phylum, means unicellular animals are included in that, like that. Okay, animals are given specific names so that the people all around the world can communicate about animals, and no matter what language they speak, these names are traditionally in Latin words. Okay, animals belongs to a number of different groups, starting with the animal kingdom. And first kingdom, all living organisms are first placed into different kingdoms. There are 5 different kingdoms according to Whittaker, the most acceptable. They classify the life on earth, which are animals, plants, fungi, bacteria, and protists. Okay, protists are unicellular organisms. The protista only include these protozoa. Okay, next, phylum. Phylum means the animal kingdom is further divided into 40 smaller groups known as phylum. Phyla. Okay, here the animals are grouped by their main features. Next, class. Class means compared to class, phylum is bigger one. Compared to phylum, kingdom is most bigger one. Okay. So now class. Class means the phylum group is divided into even smaller groups known as classes. The chordata or vertebrates phylum splits up into mammalia. Okay, mammals. Actinopterygiae, it is one of the class. Bony fishes. Chondrichthyes, it is one of the class. Include cartilaginous fishes. Aves or birds. Okay, amphibia, amphibians. Reptilia, reptiles. So like that, class is divided. Okay, class consisting of a particular more specific group. Okay, phylum divided into classes. The phylum Vertebrata is divided into main classes like fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. Okay. So next, class again further divided into smaller group called orders. Each class is divided into small groups again known as orders. The class Mammalia, again it splits into different groups including Carnivora, Primate, Artiodactyla, Rodentia, like that, the different orders. Okay, a class is bigger than order. Order is a smaller group compared to class. Then family. Order again divided into several families. In every order there are different families of animals which all have very smaller, or they are having very similar features. Okay, a order may include several families. Next, for example, the Carnivora order breaks into the families that include Felidae, cats; Canidae, dogs; Uricidae, bears; and Mustelidae, weasels. So these are all the families of the Mammalia. Okay, class Mammalia divided into orders. In the order Carnivora, once again all these are coming families. Okay. Next, now families further divided into smaller groups known as genus. Every animal family is then divided into small groups known as a genus. Each genus contains animals that have very similar features and are closely related. For example, the Felidae, it is a cat family, contains the genus including Felis, small cats and domestic cats; Panthera, tigers; leopards; joggers and lions; and Puma, panthers and cougars. Like that, several genus are present in the families. Okay, families are further divided into genus. Now species. Okay, species is the smallest one. Each individual species within the genus is named as its individual features and characteristics. The names of animals are in Latin so that they can be understood worldwide and consist of two words. The first word is the name of the animal, will be the genus, and the second name indicates the specific name. It is the binomial nomenclature which was introduced by Carolus Linnaeus, which is very popular. Binomial nomenclature. It is also called the scientific naming. Scientific naming. Okay, several species combine to form the genus. Several genus combine to form the families. Several families combine to form the orders. Several orders combine to form the class. Several class combine to form the phylum. Several phylums combine to form the kingdom. So kingdom is the largest, species is the smallest unit of classification. That's why the species is considered as the basic unit of classification. Okay, I think understood, people. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for receiving latest updates.